Well, guys, tonight on Nova Legends podcast, I have our panel of Northern Virginia basketball coaches back again. I'm already seeing signs for back to school sales and stuff. Kids are already buying stuff. So before long, we'll be back in school and fall leagues. But thanks for joining me, guys.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Thanks for having
Thanks
us.
for having us.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
For having us.
Yeah, great. Well, first of all, I want to introduce Mike Desmond. I did a couple one-on-ones with Mike. His team went deep into the postseason, South Lakes, so he's gonna be joining us this season. Great to have you on board, Coach. I thought we'd first go around the panel. Mike, will let you go first. Just reintroduce yourself. Mike, you may want to give a quick background, but I think people probably know who you are. And just maybe just talk about your team, how you did this summer, and where you guys are.
Yeah, Mike Desmond, South Lakes High School. We had a good year, and this summer has been interesting. You know, my first couple of years, we graduated 2 or 3 starters, but after last season, we graduated all 5. So, you know, we're kind of in a little bit of a rebuild or retool, and we were fortunate last year to have a lot of young guys on the varsity team, and some of those young guys were able to kind of get in games. And as the games got bigger, the bench, you know, got shorter, but 2 of our young guys last year stepped in and solidified themselves as contributors. So this offseason has been just a little different than the last previous because we don't have that senior experience, that senior leadership. So, you know, it's been a bunch of young kids out there going around and try to figure out some chemistry and how they're going to fit together as a unit. But it's been a good offseason, I'd say. Is
the community over there still excited about your postseason run?
You know, if they are, it's great, but I wish they put it to bed because that was then, and this is a completely different group. And I think the expectations need to be a little bit different with a group of young guys.
Great. Well, thanks again, Coach, for joining us. Let's go to Coach Rivers, coach at Patriot High School. Coach Sherman, how you doing? How's your summer and how's the team?
I'm good, man. You know, it's finally got to the month of August. We take the month of August off, so just getting back off vacation with the kids, taking them down to Disney and doing all that stuff. So as far as the team goes, we had a pretty good off season. It was really important for us to play as much competition as possible and to get the kids as much exposure as possible. Playing at DeMatha was huge for us. We were able to get some good wins out there and obviously advance 1 round in the playoffs, so that was good. And then going to DC Live and then Philly Live for those couple of events, and then just being in the gym, having our guys for open gym and having them get shots up. So it's been pretty good.
Coach, do you feel the gap is closing again between the public schools and the privates? Or did you feel like your team could compete against the very best?
Oh, no question. I do think that we could. You know, I don't want to speak for Los, but I will on this. They clearly went out there and showed that they can more than compete with that level of schools as well. So, you know, it's great to see because when we were growing up and our time playing, we would randomly play games against those teams, you know, during the season or maybe in summer leagues, and to see the kind of gap closing a little bit more and kids realizing that that's not always the answer for them, I think is a good thing.
Yeah, great. Well, thanks, Coach. Well, you know, one of the reasons why we haven't been in touch is because we were negotiating Coach Poindexter's appearance fee. Ever since he's been, state champion, undefeated, we've had a hard time getting him on these on our podcast. But Coach, why don't you go next? Let us know how your off season's been. Unbelievable season. So how's it been going this summer?
Yeah, summer's been pretty good, man. Got to see some good talent throughout. Same, you know, me and Sherman both is exact same events between DeMatha, Philly, and then DC Live. So, you know, got to see some good talent. You know, got to put our guys to the test. Got to see our incoming guys get a lot of good minutes and figure out, you know, who's going to, crack, you know, replace those guys that we left. So, you know, it's been good. Like, we had a pretty good summer for the most part. Got our head cracked versus Sitwell. A little bit humble pie versus them. But besides that, I felt like we did a great job, man. And looking forward to see what happens on the season.
Coach, I was watching an interview with the Latino kid that really seems to be coming on for you guys. I guess he's from Dominican Republic.
Andy Ramirez.
Yeah, it sounds like he's going to be a contributor for you next year.
Nah, he definitely will. He's 6'3", rangy guard, can defend, athletic. Just more about him finding his way offensively. I mean, he could do things offensively, but it's just, he's trying to find his way as far as where he needs to take shots at, be a little bit more aggressive. He's like very timid when it comes to that. But hopefully this fall, and after playing summer and getting tons and tons of minutes, this fall you probably see it even more display of him playing offensively and getting double figures almost every game.
Yeah.
At least that's what I hope.
Yeah. I mean, I think you can replace double figures into that lineup. I think good things for Hayfield this year. Well, Coach Bentley, how about you? I know you had a busy summer. I think you run a summer league or AAU, and I know you coach with your good friend Bobby Dobson this summer. Tell us about your team, and also tell us about coaching with Bobby this summer.
So yeah, we started off. We played summer league over in Fairfax, and did really well. I was very surprised. We've got a lot of guys returning. Well, we have 7 guys that we work with this summer. That's all we had. If you came to a Fairfax Summer League game and saw us with 2 guys on the bench, that's what we've been working with. We've returned 5 guys from last year's team. They were sophomores and now they're juniors. One kid who's going to be probably our best player is Seth Langford. He'll be a senior this year, looking for some leadership out of him. But we did really well over in the Fairfax League. We went 7-3. And then that's what I hate. Then all of a sudden you got to get in the playoffs and then you lose. And so now your kid's upset. So the hell with the playoffs. Let's just get 10 games in and I'm good, man. So, but other than that, it was a great experience for our guys to try to show what to do. And, being young last year, finishing 3rd in our conference was really good. So now we want to try to take that next step and keep going, getting better. All my guys, those 5 guys are playing AAU. They played AAU this summer, whether it was with us or different teams, just trying to get the experience. And then I've been running AAU. This is my 10th year at Team Pro Look, and I was able to convince my mentor to come out and coach this year for the first time. And it was great to have Bobby Dobson on the sideline. As you know, we've been on the bench together for 9 years before I left and went to Wakefield. And so to have him back on the sideline was great. And, he's the vet. But this year I was the head coach of the team and he was the assistant coach. And I found myself in a timeout and I'm scrambling for the board and I'm looking at him and I'm like, get the board. And it's Bobby. I'm like, oh shit. I just yelled for Bobby to go get the board. And so we laughed and I dropped the play or whatever and the game goes on and that we're walking out the game. He looks at me and goes, don't ever do that shit again. But if Bobby Dobson, it was just an honor to be back on the bench with him and his knowledge to the kids. And it was great, man, to be back with him, whether we won a game or not. I was just happy to be back on the bench with Bobby. I don't know if he's going to do it again because as you guys know, going right from your season and doing AAU, it is tough. And we talked a little bit about it before. It's wearing on me a little bit, and I'm getting to the point where I'm 3 or 4 more years, might have to turn it over. But right now we had a good season, and I'm looking forward to what holds for the young Wakefield Warriors team this year.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Coach. Well, Coach Howson, another great postseason run for West Potomac. You guys, I think we're 5th seed in the district tournament, won the district. It's great to have some hardware they can never take that away from you. You got a pretty young team. How's your summer been going? And update us on your team.
Yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate having me back on. Yeah, we had first let me say something about Coach Bentley. That last 3 or 4 year statement. Yeah, nobody's going for that, man. All right. No, as soon as you get a rising freshman coming up, it's gonna be amazing. Which was so our spring kind of started. My rising freshman team did really well and actually won the championship. And it was cool that my older kids, we hadn't had a rising freshman league for a couple of years. So my high school kids were to the game and seeing them, and the seniors were there, and it was really nice. We do a lot of workouts throughout the year. Attendance was really good, and then we were in the Fairfax Summer League as well. I don't remember what our record was, but I knew most of the teams made the playoffs. It was hard. It was our first time actually playing in a summer league away from West Potomac in almost 10 years. We've been hosting summer league at our place, so I haven't had to round guys up, and I couldn't believe when he said $1,000. I had no idea how much they cost. It's been that long, but we lost in the first round of the playoffs. Tony said, it's typically kind of sad and but we went to team camp a couple days right after that. So for us, it was perfect, and we got to team camp, and because we were missing some guys, some summer league games, we got to team camp. Pretty much everybody was there. And it was our first time going to team camp and since 2019. So we hadn't been able to stay overnight or do anything with each other for a long time. And the kids did really well there. We won every game and then won the finals there against some public schools and private schools that are down there. So yeah, we're really excited about, I got some really veteran returning backcourt, some 3-year guys that'll be with me, a couple forwards that have been with me for a few years. So yeah, we're really excited about going back into the Patriot and seeing what we can do next year.
Yeah, great. Well, thanks, Coach. Well, Coach Craig, between these trips to the beach, I follow you on Facebook. I mean, you really take this teacher summer thing to the hilt. But you got some well-deserved time off. Congratulations. Glad you had a good time. Tell us about your summer. I know I saw some of your results and you had some big wins this summer. Looks like you had some great days and some days where it was challenging, but why don't you fill us in on your team?
Yeah, for the record, it was only one trip to the beach last week. So, and I don't have the Arlington County money behind me like Coach Bentley does. I don't know what that's. I'm just a hardworking public school teacher. Yeah, we had a good summer. We had played in 2 different summer leagues. Split our varsity guys up. Sent about half of them to play up at DeMatha and half of them to play at Fairfax. Mixed results. We graduated a lot of seniors. We had four of our 5 starters were seniors that graduated, and a couple of those guys, were multiple 3-year starters for us, and another couple of guys were 2-year starters for us. So we graduated a lot of experience. We played a lot of young guys this summer. For a lot of them, it was their first experience getting on the floor much in varsity basketball. Even our JV team was young. I mean, I think 4 of our 5 starters on JV last year were freshmen. So, for those kids, it was really their first chance to play some varsity basketball this summer. We had some good moments. We took our lumps. We didn't make the playoffs in either league. I thought that we got better as the summer went on. I thought early in the summer we were kind of a hot mess. But as they played together a little bit more, I think, we got a lot of guys who are playing together for the first time. And, I think that takes a little bit of time to build that chemistry. We finished up our summer leagues and kind of went down to team camp right after summer league finished, down to Randolph-Macon College. And kind of the same thing at team camp. We started out kind of slow. We were 1-3, and then we won our last 6 games and won the championship. So
awesome.
I think, we have some talent. We got some kids that can play. They're just green. They're just inexperienced and green kids who really are going to have to learn on the job. It's kind of a double-edged sword when you have a really good group of seniors that have played a lot. Is the last 2 years, coaching wise, it's been pretty easy because they know what to expect. And then, but at the time is when they graduate, they soak up so many of the minutes that it's hard for younger guys to get that floor time to develop because they're stuck behind guys that play 28, 29, 30 minutes a game. So we're going to have to rebuild, some chemistry, but I'm pretty confident that by the end of the season, we're going to be a pretty good team. I think we have some talent. It's just, we're going to have a lot of sophomores and juniors playing a lot of minutes this year. And then we have a couple seniors that have a little bit of game experience. So, hopefully they'll contribute as well. So I'm hoping by the end of the season, we'll be pretty competitive.
Yeah. Coach, did you get a chance to meet the new girls coach at Woodson?
Yeah, Coach Tao. Yeah, actually, her husband was an assistant of mine for a year, about 4 or 5 years ago. So I've known Coach Tao for a little while. Her family. I'm excited for her to come over to Woodson. It's nice to have a head coach in place now. Hopefully for several years. We've kind of had a little bit of a revolving door with the head coaching position. But Coach Tao, I think she's going to be there for a long time. It's nice to have a head coach. It's also nice to have, it's the first female head coach we've had at Woodson for girls basketball since till it's 2001. Wow. So it's been a long time. So it's nice to have that perspective. I know the girls are all excited. So, that's the one thing when you get to teach in the building, you get to meet some of the athletes of other sports. So I know I've had several girls basketball players in class last year as students, and they were all very excited to get her on board. So we're excited to have her.
Yeah.
Her husband's a former state champion, 1990.
Yeah. Oh, is that right? What high school did she go to?
Princess Anne.
Princess Anne.
Oh, awesome.
Princess Anne.
Yeah, great. Well, thanks, Coach. Well, let's start out by talking about Coach Diane Lewis, our friend, former Edison coach. I was on Twitter one day and I got this alert. So somehow I guess I was connected to someone who tweeted that there was a picket in front of Edison High School over the head coach getting let go, the women's coach or stepping down or whatever it was, and also the men's coach, also the boys coach also. So, I didn't know what was going on, but it turns out there's some articles in the local paper that there may have been a player or two that they weren't sure they're in the jurisdiction. I mean, the details are sketchy. They haven't really released publicly the information about these matters, which I think is typical for these types of deals. But anyway, you guys have any thoughts about the situation? I know Coach Bentley, you're friends with Coach Lewis, and you guys go back a ways. You want to start out with this? What are you guys' thoughts?
I mean, I think through this, we probably learned something from this, and that is that Fairfax County, Arlington County, Prince William County, whatever, they don't have to tell you, they don't have to renew your contract. It's 1 year and it's up after that, and they really don't have to give you any explanation, is what I'm hearing from all this stuff with Coach Lewis. I think my only thing, I don't know the whole story. I mean, I'm just like you guys. I've heard this, I've heard that. But I think when you're talking about a Diane Lewis, 22 years at Edison, you don't even think women's basketball at Edison unless you think Diane Lewis. And again, I'm on the outside looking in, how it was handled of her having to step down with a veteran of her. It baffles me. And again, I don't know the whole story, and I've reached out to Coach Lewis and all of that good stuff, but just think the way that things could have been handled. And we all can sit on this panel and think about this. We're coaches. I've been doing this to be my 21st year at Wakefield. Some of you guys are here just as long. We wait till November, and the kids who come to our gym are the kids who they try out. We have nothing to do with kids being admitted into the school or anything of that nature. If I'm coaching a kid, my AD comes and says to me, there's a problem with the kid's address, then you remove him. But it's not my job to go and look and find out where everybody, if the kid's been in school since September and he's trying out for basketball in November, to me, I'm coaching. That's what my job is, to coach the team. So I just think that how things were handled, and I could be wrong because of course the whole story hasn't come out. And I don't even think what I've read, Coach Lewis didn't know exactly why or whatever it may be. But I just think as far as a veteran coach of Coach Lewis's stature, I just think it could have been handled a little bit different.
Yeah, coaches, they touch so many different lives. When you look back on your high school career, your life, it's the coaches that you usually think about first, because you spend so much time with your coaches. The teachers are important as well, obviously, and you think about, but you have a lot of teachers. Coaches are so important in the development of kids, and she's seemed to have touched so many lives. So it is a shame. Anyone else want to add to this, or?
Yeah, I'll just say something. Just as Tony said, looking at veteran coaches, those of us have been in the same place for a long time, and I kind of don't even really know who was, unfortunately, the girls' coach at Edison prior to Diane being there. I don't remember, but I just know that the county will say it's a personnel matter, so we'll never really ever find out. And I think that happens a lot in situations that, we give our time and our lives and take away from our family and stuff for a long time, and then something might happen and then nobody hears about it again, and then they just move on. I just feel it's unfortunate that we don't really have a job description. There's never when they have the call for coaches, it says head coach, but it doesn't really say what that is. Each individual school, I'm assuming, has a meeting with their DSA to say what exactly they are to do. And so if you fall short of one of those things, I guess they would let you know, but it does seem like it should be something that for somebody who's done as much as she has, that we should get a little bit more information.
Yeah, hopefully we'll.
Sure.
Coach Carlos, you want to jump in?
I was just going to one more tidbit. Diane's getting all the headlines, but I feel like Terry has done a hell of a job over there as well. And for them just to be like, we're just moving in another direction and not give nobody any explanation. I felt like that was wrong in every aspect. And, hopefully, Edison's gonna look totally different now. From what they've been over all these years that both of those coaches have been there, and it's just gonna be weird. To me, real weird. But hopefully they get everything situated and both of them land somewhere that they still want to continue coaching.
Yeah. Unfortunately, both of them are minority coaches too, and it's one of those things where it's easier for folks who are minorities to want to hear information about what exactly happened. But that would be the case if they weren't minorities too. Anyone else want to jump in here? Or,
I mean, I think, yeah, obviously, you know, Fairfax County is never going to tell everybody why they decided not to renew the contract. We are all on one-year contracts. We can be let go or retained, and they don't really have to give you an explanation. With these, you know, in Fairfax County, these are stipend contracts. So they're not, you know, even it's a right to work state. There's legal things that they have to get involved with the one-year contracts. I think though, this is one of the problems though, with a big system like Fairfax County. You know, it can be very impersonal on a lot of levels because there's so many people, there's so many schools, there's so many kids. But this is the disconnect that Fairfax County has between the coaches and teachers who are down in the trenches with the kids who really make a really big impact with kids. And, you know, like you remember your coaches. That's if you were an athlete, that's you remember. I'm sure that if you were in the band, you remember your band director. And there are certain positions that impact in a different way than just the amount of money that they're paid on a stipend. And I think this is a situation where, you know, Coach Lewis was there for 21 years. Did somebody say, is that right? 21 years? I mean, that's a lot of lives, a lot of kids, a lot of community that's been impacted. And I know FCPS views that position, the girls basketball job at Edison, as a stipend position. It doesn't pay a lot of money. You know, those positions are interchangeable, but on the ground, on the grassroots level, on the ground level, those positions are not interchangeable. Those people have a lot of influence, are very visible in the community. They impact a lot of people, not just the people in the program. I mean, the entire pride that school takes in its girls basketball program, which, you know, rivals the pride they take in their boys basketball program in a lot of respects. You know, that's a very influential position. And that's where the disconnect between a big impersonal system like Fairfax County, which has hundreds and hundreds and thousands of employees, and a coach where if it's in a small town where there's one high school, you know, that coach has a little bit more, you know, gets a little bit more discretion treated when they remove coaches. Where in a big system like this, you can be let go or hired in any time. It doesn't change the impact that they have though on those kids. And I think, you know, that's the part where the big impersonal school system like Fairfax County, just because it's so large, you know, really runs into problems by letting go of a very long tenured, popular, well-liked head coach with not a lot of explanation. So I think this is part of the system problem. It's just so big.
Yeah. Thanks, Coach.
Can I just say, Julian, real fast? It's really counterproductive, unfortunately, to the idea of coach shortage, trying to find coaches. We're trying to, you know, the teacher shortage, coaches shortage. We're trying to get people, and then something like this happens. And if I'm a brand new coach coming in, and I hear even us on this panel talking about how much time we're spending from our families and time away, and then something like this happens, it doesn't seem to make encourage somebody that's trying to just get into the profession to want to keep doing it. So hopefully something does come out. Hopefully people are hearing that, you know, that we do it, we still do it. And there's a reason that we do it. And, but I hope it's handled much better than this in the future.
Coach Sherman or Coach Desmond, you want to jump in here, or has enough been said?
I mean, I think they covered it all. I didn't even know about the boys' position. I heard about the girls' story, but you know, it's unfortunate. Just piggybacking on what Tony said, like, what are we supposed to do? Like, if they let the kid to school and then they tell us that the kid's eligible, now it's my job to go find out exactly where their address is when you're supposed to have checked all those boxes already. So, and then just to make me the scapegoat of it at the end of it, I think it's unfair.
Yeah, thanks, Coach.
I mean, I didn't know either coach personally. I've just heard of both coaches and what a tremendous job they've done. And, you know, we've all touched on it. The rumor mill, we either heard them, we've been in them, and who knows really exactly what is what. And we'll probably never know what is what, but I hope that, you know, both coaches land on their feet. And like you guys said, people have been doing this or do this. Yeah, you want to win games, but you hope the impact is kind of more than just winning games. And I'm sure those coaches have touched a lot of lives and, you know, in a positive manner. So just whenever the dust settles, I just hope they both find an opportunity to keep doing what they love.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Coach. But more about coaches. What are the coaching changes that are going on? Obviously, we all know that Kevin Harris is back at Westfield. I think there's rumors going on that there might be a coaching change at Centerville. But what have you guys heard, and what are some of the changes?
Hey, speaking of landing on their feet, shout out to D. Gildridge. My man only was a year off, and then now he got a job at Colonial Forge. I'm super happy for that guy, man. He put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears over at Annandale, and for whatever situation that occurred, and for them to just let him go like that, it was unfortunate. So I'm glad that D landed on his feet, got Colonial Forge. Hopefully he does some great things over there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Best of luck.
Well, that's dear and close to my heart. So
yeah, that's your man. Yeah,
guy, and I was not gonna have him because Annandale made a mistake. It is what it is, and they made a mistake by doing what they did, and I immediately got involved and got my principal and got my AD involved, and we talked about what we could do to get him back on my bench. They were all on board, and it worked out great. He put his time in again, and he continued to, wanted to continue being a head coach. And when this job popped open, it was great. I spoke with their AD, and I couldn't be more happy for him to land on his feet and to be moving forward to do what he loves to do. And I'll say it again, Annandale made a huge mistake, and it could have been an opportunity for a teaching moment that they blew. And I can definitely say that. I won't speak much on Coach Lewis, but I would definitely say that about Annandale. What they did was wrong. I think they know it, but again, they won't ever admit it, and it's water under the bridge. Dietrich has moved on, and it is what it is, and I'm happy for him. So,
Coach Bentley, does he live down near Colonial Forge? Is that? Oh, good.
He lives in Woodbridge.
Good. Okay.
So when you talk about Stafford, you talking about the country. So I'm sorry, Stafford County. Good. Yeah. He has a hike on his hand. He has to, figure this out, how it's going to work. And he's already working on it. But that's the thing that, the suits, they don't see what we as coaches, what we do and what we try to do to maintain being the coaches and things like that. They have no idea, and they could care less. But I mean, at the end of the day, yes, he has to go to Stafford now, whatever, and he's going to do a great job. He's taking over for a great coach who was there for a while, Anthony Mills, who's a great guy who took over for Keith Honore at Potomac. So they're keeping it rolling, man. So I'm like, Carlos, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm happy for my man Dietrich that he's going to be, back in the saddles and doing his things. And, got a lot of coaching things going on. Like we talked about Edison boys. Falls Church just got a new coach, Darian Mangum, who was an assistant coach there for about 7 or 8 years. Put his time in, interviewed and got the job at Falls Church. I think Falls Church elected to stay within. And I don't know who applied for the job or anything like that, but I know Darian has put his blood and sweat into Falls Church, and he's being rewarded now. He's another young man that's, trying to do the right thing. So, I've been in contact with him, and like Dave and I had some conversations off air about, we need to do a better job of mentoring some of these younger guys that's coming in to the ranks, because some of them do get spoiled. They just get a job right away. And mine wasn't that way. I went from a freshman coach to a JV coach to a varsity coach. And some people get lucky and get a varsity coach right away and don't understand what it's like to, know all 3 levels. And so I think, Dave and I talked about it. We do need to do a better job of mentoring these younger guys that come in, the guys that want to be mentored. There's a lot of guys that come and think they know what the hell they're doing, and it doesn't work out. So if they do want some of my help, I'm always here. And I know these guys on the panel the same way. I've talked to a lot of guys about some things that they should do and shouldn't do. You know what I mean? So,
Coach Bentley, do they have a coaches association? Because I know when I played, there was a coaches association that they would meet once a month or something like that.
So listen, I've been around a long time. Dave, Doug, we had a great coaches association, but then once they started changing these states and regionals and all that, there was really no more Northern region. So the coaches association kind of stopped. Now I think something got brought back. I think the Robinson coach is like our president. Doug can probably talk to you about that. I'm not 100% sure. I've seen a couple emails here and there, but it's not an association to me, and I'm just me, like it was when I first started. Like when you could go to a meeting and look around and see there's Charlie Thompson over there. It was so many guys that we got a chance to meet. I don't think it's that way anymore. I don't know. I've seen a couple of emails, but I haven't been invited to anything. And I know COVID, but we definitely need some sort of association like we used to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a group of coaches that are trying, I think, to get something restarted, but it's hard when, you got teams in multiple different regions now,
Yeah.
multiple different districts.
I agree.
Some teams are playing 6A, some teams are playing 5A, some teams are playing 4A in the next cycle. I mean, it's hard to have, there's no tie amongst the northern region, the old northern region teams. Like there used to be a common tie that they were all in the same region, and they were all, most of them were Fairfax County, Arlington, or Alexandria schools. Now it's all mixed together and it's just different. I would, going back to the coaching, I think one of the things I was struck by was the volume of head coaching openings this year. I was trying to do I don't know if I missed them all, but Falls Church, Edison, Centerville, Westfield, Langley changed.
Who's that coach?
The
Do we
new he's from Loudoun County. Frankly, I haven't met him yet. I don't know. Potomac, Osborne Park. I mean, there's a lot of openings. Did I miss any? Is it just
Colonial Forge.
Colonial Forge?
Freedom Bridge.
Woodbridge, yeah, a lot of school, a lot of change. I feel like more so this year than there has been the last couple. I feel like the last couple has been a smaller amount of change. I feel like this year in particular, there's a lot of change, a lot of different schools, and some of it's Anthony moving from Colonial Forge to Potomac. Obviously it's just he's moving to a different position, but a lot of new head coaches, a lot of younger head coaches. I think Tony and Davey and I have been head coaches long enough where we kind of came in with the last wave of young head coaches, and now we've hung around long enough where we're seeing this new wave of younger head coaches kind of come in. But I was struck by the volume of change this year. Like usually there's 2 or 3 jobs that kind of change every year. That seems to be kind of about the average. Felt like this year it was more than most. I don't know if anybody else felt that way. That just kind of struck me.
Well, I went to a resident source, Dick Wickline, with the question, when's the last time you heard boy and girl coach change at the same time, same school?
Mm.
And he struggled, and he's been doing it since, Nixon stuff, right? So
No, Johnson.
Oh, you're right. So I think it's a high volume. I noticed that as well. And actually, when you see, we have you non-Fairfax County people don't know, we have like a email call for coaches that has all of the coaches jobs that are available. It's a lot of jobs available in a lot of sports. It isn't actually just basketball, but there's a lot of head jobs available, and I think that's a problem that needs to be addressed, unfortunately.
I mean, obviously, until we pay coaches and treat them better, we're going to keep losing coaches. but
let me say this real quick. We talk about treat us better. Check this out.
Mm.
I've been doing this for 21 years, right? Let's just say I make $3,000 a year to coach at Wakefield High School.
Mm.
You take a guy who gets his first job, varsity job as a basketball coach. He comes in, he makes the exact same thing.
Mm.
Doesn't make sense. Now, I'm not saying that I should be paid more, but they should do something like this.
Mm.
If I've been at Wakefield for 5 years, I should get like a extra stipend on my check. Let's say $500 be great. If I stay 10 years, there's another 5. I think the longevity you stay, you should be able to be rewarded for how long you stay. But you take a vet coach who's been 30 years at one school, and you take a guy's first year coaching, he's making the exact same amount as Bobby Dobson is making.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense to me. Now, and we're not in this for the money, but you know what? Just show the guys that's been hanging around, you got some tenure, okay, because you've been coaching 10 years, you get an extra 250, something. And to find out that we don't get paid, or we get the exact same as a young booty butt 21-year-old kid coming in to coach is ridiculous to me, but we're not doing it for the money. But at the same time, man, just be like, yo, here's for your time.
Respect. Some respect.
Yes.
There's some respect on that. Yeah, for sure.
I never even thought about it like that. That's actually a great idea.
It makes no sense. But of course, we as the coaches, we never get any say so or anything. Nobody ever calls us to say, what do you think? They just make these decisions and we go with it. And that's why we talk about like an association. I mean, even we had associations, could someone fight on our behalf? But I really think that, and I'm not saying that if you win the district, you get $500. No, that's not fair. I'm cool with that. But I'm saying tenure. If you've been somewhere, one place for 5 years, whatever, 3, I don't care what they do. But like Dave said, put a little bit of respect on guys that's been doing this, that's been giving up time away from their families and everything, to just give them, okay, because you did 5 years, you 10 years, here's where you are, versus you make the exact same thing as a vet coach or whatever.
And I think one thing that happens is you don't do it for the money, as Coach Craig said at an earlier podcast we have, and Coach Bentley just said. But if there's no money in it or very little money, it becomes risky, because after teaching 15, 20 years, you start thinking about your retirement benefits. Then you don't want anything to happen doing your coaching gig that can affect your other job. So it's one of those things where I think more money would make the incentives line up better. And also we keep these great leaders in the game longer, like you guys. I did an interview with Mark Bendorf from Robinson football coach. And, he was getting ready for a football season one year. Then all of a sudden the benefits person in Fairfax County called him up and basically said, you're not going to really make any money at all to coach this year. And when he thought about it, he just said, well, you know what? I'm just going to retire. So I think a couple weeks before the season started, he just retired. So all those kids, didn't have him coaching them that year. And I'm sure they're fine. It worked out. But I just think they need to make the incentives line up better and more fair to coaches. So.
Well, that kind of goes back to the part where I was saying earlier, the system is so big that I don't think the higher ups understand the impact that the people in the trenches have on kids. I've always said for years and years, the most important people in a school building are the kids, the children, the students. The second most important people are the people who work with them directly every day, and that's your teachers and your coaches. Everyone else's job in a school system should be to support the teacher and the coaches working directly with the kids. That's the way it's supposed to work. But with titles and degrees and hierarchy and all that bureaucracy, that's not necessarily the way that it's viewed in some circles. I think a lot of times it's viewed the people at the bottom are there to help the people at the top, when really their position is to support the people who work directly with the kids. In the ideal system, that's the way it would be evaluated. But I think necessarily that's the way it is. And I think that's the impersonal nature. Fairfax County is monstrous, right? Like in terms of number of schools. Even Arlington County, the number of students and teachers, it's a lot of people. It's not a small school system. It's small compared to Fairfax, but it's not small. And Prince William is kind of impersonal. I would imagine the same way. You got a lot of different schools. It's a whole county system. That's kind of the problem with the model as it is, as I see it now. But nobody ever told me I wasn't going to get rich being a public high school coach. I was in this for the money myself. My mansion that I'm building is all on the backs of my stipend every year.
They lied to you. So anyone else want to jump in here?
Yeah, real quick, I just want to say, talking with new coaches, I want to shout out to Rob Robinson, who got the girls coach job at South Lakes. South Lakes guy, South Lakes legend, and he's excited, and I think he said it on your podcast. He's got some big stilettos to fill. But Rob's excited, and just to kind of, if I can, I've only been doing this as a head coach for a couple of years. But I got into the game young and spent 20 years on different staffs at different levels. And, as you guys have been doing it for a long time, the whole respect thing, there should be something, because this thing ages you, as I found out the last 3 years, and it's not what you think it is. And, I sat there for 20 years watching different people do different things, and then you get it and you think, oh, simple, I know it. In the X's and O's that's cake, right? It's all the other stuff that you have no idea that as a head coach, you're responsible for clearly checking where someone's lives, or, making sure this or that, or, social media, whatever it is. So I think guys who, have chosen to be in this so long, like some of you guys, and have survived, how about that? The changes, the ups and downs, there should be something of protection or just some recognition for those people who have been around for a long, long time.
And don't forget, Coach, your job is also to get those kids scholarships in basketball, because that's something that's it's very easy for you guys.
Making sure what time the bus leaves the school. That's the head coach. People don't realize that from the outside. How about the practice schedule? I don't know. I do the practice schedule for our whole program, and for the girls' whole program in our building. I organize the gyms and who's going to be where, when. That's us. A lot of times hanging nets. When the nets get ripped in our gym, I climb a ladder and hang them. This is the stuff that people don't, and not that that's a big deal, but that's all the little detail work that people on the outside have no idea that high school head coach. We're not like college head coaches where we have a director of basketball ops who's scheduling the buses and the transportation and the hotels. A lot of times at the high school level, that falls to the head coach. You know,
How about the road loss? This is what people don't know. The road loss on a, I don't know, Tuesday night, tough one, long road home, put the stuff away in the locker room, come back out, and the one kid whose ride's not there.
Yep.
And you got to sit and wait. And so, you know, your family expects you home, and then you're not home for 45 more minutes, right? I mean, those could cause problems, you know, that happens multiple times in a year. Like, those are certainly things that no coaches would know is even the thing to have to do. When you're the head coach, you got to stay last. It sucks. Or if you're bad at rock, paper, scissors, you have to stay
How
last.
about cleaning up the gym? Like, you know, PE did this or this was going on, and you walk in for your practice, and there's a romper room or playground equipment somehow in the middle of the court. So, you know, you got to do more than just get the broom out.
When I was in high school, I used to watch the baseball coaches work on the fields all the time. And I used to be like, I would never be a baseball coach. This is worse than, because my parents made me do the lawn when I was a kid and I hated it. But the baseball coach, that was huge. And they spent like hours cutting grass, putting the lines down. I'm like, I would never be a baseband coach.
Yeah, I like the two that where the administrator comes to you and says, hey, we're having a problem with so-and-so in his English class. He's having a problem with the teacher. Can you go talk to him? And then they tell you that, well, you don't have a team in the off season. Your team is from November to March, but they're coming to me in September when a kid has a problem with an English teacher because they think he's going to try out for the basketball team. And they want you to go talk to him.
Yeah.
Hey, that's wild.
But you don't have a team in September, but you are the coach. So don't you want to talk to him? It's like, well, either I have a team or I don't have a team. Like, so you want me to help discipline the kid in September, but you're saying he's not my player until November. But somehow these are things that falls to the head coach.
Yep.
Sherman, do you want to jump in here? I saw you.
I mean, that one is at the top of the list for sure. I can't tell you how many teachers. And listen, I'm all about telling them, listen, anything I can do to help, I'm all about it with these young men in these classrooms. But at the same time, where's your classroom management? Like, I don't need you to come to me because you can't get such and such to be quiet for a day. Like, if this is a repeated problem, yeah, then we can talk about it. But at the same time, it's like, you want me to say we don't have a team at this point, but yet you want me to have people come fundraise in the spring, you know? So it's like, it can't be, I can't have a team for this, but yes, I need you to control the team for that. So that's what I was just thinking. That's just interesting to think about that. And the million other things that we have to do that you would never think about until you're actually in that seat and have to make the decisions.
Yeah.
And just, making sure you have your practice uniforms on time.
Yeah.
Something as small as that. And if you don't, then you start practice and you're playing shirts and skins. I don't even know if we're allowed to do that anymore.
Yeah.
So
well, let's move on to the player movement. I mean,
hold on, Julie, before we move on,
yeah.
before we say something real quick, because I want to know, them TC Williams guys gonna get on us, man. TC had a coach. Well, I'm sorry, Alexandria City had a coaching change as well too. I don't know the coach very well, but I heard, saw he did a great job at the end of the season. But they had a new coaching change as well too.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So just wanted to throw
Did he
that.
get it? Are you saying he
Does
got
anybody know his name?
So,
Sally?
Yeah. And
Sally. Okay.
yeah, I've talked to him several times. They'll be playing in fall league, but I don't want the TC alum to get on us for not mentioning TC. Y'all know how they are. So TC, shout out to AC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they may fight you next year instead of.
Nah.
Did he get the job though? Is that what you're saying? He got it?
Yes.
Yeah,
He's the head coach.
Oh,
He's the head coach.
Well, this is, I think,
reached out to him if he needs anything. Huh?
No, go ahead. I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Oh no, I just said, we've reached out to him if he needs anything or whatever, but he's gonna be playing in our fall league coming up as well too. So congratulations to him as well for taking that job. He was an assistant coach there, and now he has the job. So I don't know him yet, but I'll get the chance to know him.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm sorry I missed that one from earlier because they hired the interim.
Yes.
Interim coach they hired.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did a nice job with them. last year, kind of holding that group
It's
together.
too late, Doug. You're already a target. It's too late. You can't try to back up.
I
You
don't
missed
know,
it.
it's fine.
Too late, man.
Yeah, that's fine.
I
It
hear
wouldn't
you
be-
like, oh
listen.
yeah, they had a great year. You did-
Listen, hey, it wouldn't be the worst thing ever said to be over at Alexandria City. Let me tell you, we've had some battles over the years where some things have been said, and that's fine. That's all part of it when you go on the road with a
Yeah.
place that has great tradition. I think it's
Yeah.
fun. I mean, I think it's fun. I don't take that stuff personal.
Right.
One of the greatest rivalries in the county history is Titans versus Woodson. So, but let's go to player movement. I mean, I know that Joshua Clark has left Alexandria City to go to Flint Hill, but he's more of a football player. His dad was a great basketball player, James Clark for Alexandria City. Joshua Clark. He was a six man, or he started sometimes from Alexandria. 6'2".
Man, I don't even know who that is.
He's a good player. He can really get up and dunk, athletic kid, but he's a Division I football prospect.
He
But,
played basketball this past year.
Yeah, played basketball, probably six man.
Yeah, he came off the bench. Really athletic kid that played defense and rebound. About 6 foot, 6'1", skinny kid. Braids pulled back.
Yeah,
You would know him if you saw him, Davey. He came off the bench. He played a lot for them.
yeah, good player. I like the way he plays. Very
Yeah,
active.
played
Hey.
defense and rebounded. Did a lot of the dirty work stuff.
Mhm.
Where did he transfer to?
He went to Flint Hill for football.
Did he reclass? Did he reclass?
He reclassed. Yeah.
He took
But
the
he-
refs with him.
What's that?
He take the referees with him.
Yo,
But I know Jamie
That was the
Kaiser.
inside.
Jamie Kaiser's going to IMG. Every day is a new headline about Jamie Kaiser. But Greg Jones is still at Hayfield. Margot is still at Fairfax. Some of the headline players are still with us. Has there been any other player defections to private schools that I haven't heard about?
I have a question about the IMG thing. So I know Jamie's going there, and I know Carlos Braylon is going there, but that's separate teams, right? Is it not the
Yeah.
same as a post grad and a high school team? Is that
so
what they do?
that's exactly what it is. So they have a post grad team, national team where Jamie and where Jamie's going, and then they have like an academic team. So they have like three. I think they have 3 teams.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
What
might
is
have
the-
4.
What is that? What are they doing?
Academic? Oh, I don't know. Probably paying for the national team.
So is it a school in like for Braylon, for instance? Is it like a Virginia post grad where kind of you're playing, but then you're on your own to do your classes on your own,
Yeah.
or they offer classes that?
They offer classes. Like he's like taking like two prep classes, college classes,
Okay.
and the rest is just he got a whole workout schedule regime that they got going on.
I think they can't take a full load, right? It's like 12. They can't take 12 credits, something like that.
Nah, they can't. He's taking 2, like 6 credits.
is he in Florida or is he in Baltimore? Braylon?
Florida,
Florida? Okay. Awesome.
but he's not there yet. But he'll be there in 2 weeks.
Awesome. Well,
Hey,
congratulations.
shout out to Kaiser for signing with Maryland today.
Mhm.
Yeah, man, that's big.
Signing with
Stay
Maryland.
home.
Congratulations. Yeah, congratulations.
I feel like we need to do a better. The Northern Virginia kid, he did go private, but I feel like for Virginia, him being a Northern Virginia kid and him going to a big school like that is pretty big.
Well, I wonder though, Los, how would that affect other kids that are public go private, then we public shout them out after they go on? I don't know. I mean, I'm just actually asking that out. Like we're always talking about some of our guys. You guys were earlier talking about the gaps closing with the league and the teams you guys are playing in. I wonder
Yeah.
how that would go over.
I think every situation is different. Like, you know what I'm saying? What Kaiser have done at Lake Braddock. So he goes and plays private. Now so I think as we still saying, he's still a local kid. So props. If a kid's gonna leave, your kid's gonna leave you. So that's not gonna make me feel any different about a Jamie Kaiser or anybody else. Congratulations. Good luck to the kids. Everybody's situation is different. So I don't ever sit back and say this kid shouldn't have did that. I see what you're saying though, Dave. If we on here, someone shouting, "Oh, well, didn't he go to Braddock first? Now, why are we shouting him out? Because the other kids gonna want to do it." I see what you're saying, but I'm old enough to be like, I'm happy for the kid and his family. Good luck to him, and I hope he does well. But I see what you're saying. I do see what you're saying.
Man,
Hey,
how
but
much
I'm saying it in general too. Like even for the past players that we've had that went D1, like even what's the
Ooh.
Beavers? Like
That's me.
you know what I mean? like
Nightmares about
I'm
that.
talking about stuff like that, like just in general, bigging up our area a little bit more than what we do.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but like private versus public, right? It doesn't matter. If you're good, you're good. And 90% of your recruiting goes if you're in the right AAU team. So if a kid jumps private because they want to reclass or because they're not getting the best opportunity at their public, whatever, bye. But like if you're good, you're good. And most of your recruiting is going to be done for your AAU team. So if you're a public school kid and your mom and dad think you're, the next great thing and you're supposed to go D1 and you're not, it's not your high school coach. Talk to your AAU coach. Talk the events you're going to. So, I mean, public, private, whatever. Kids can hoop, they can hoop. It doesn't matter where they're at.
Yeah, I always knew that kid was good though. Like ever since 8th grade when he was playing up in the rising freshman league.
I think he still would have got something like that if he stayed at Lake Braddock. I don't think it would have made a difference. He might not even play basketball if he stayed at Lake Braddock.
Yeah.
He might end up playing football because he had D1 offers for that too.
Right.
You would have Mason So and Jamie Kaiser in the same backcourt at Lake Braddock, right?
And David was with him too.
And Solomon.
David Solomon. They were all together.
Yeah, they were.
They all started out on AAU together in like 4th grade with Costa So, who trained all those guys, and they were loaded. And then by the time they got to 8th grade, they started getting plucked by the big boy teams and all that type of stuff. But they were supposed to go to Braddock and could have possibly won 3 state championships if they all stuck together. It would have been nice for the community, but
Yeah, they all played Burke basketball in
Yeah.
youth league because I know my kid Andre Pacheco played with them. He was
yeah.
on the same team with them. So was Sine Ben-Gur. They all grew up playing together, and then they kind of split off.
You know who else was on that team? Mike Desmond, Tang.
Was he?
Tang was with all those guys. Man, Costa's got all the posters and pictures of all those guys up in his workout place. The teams are stacked, and he had them all.
That's what's up though. That's cool.
Yeah, he had them all young, man. So again, another shout out to Costa So, who trained a lot of those guys, man. And now he's got like Mason's going D1. He's already signed.
Greensboro.
Yeah, he's going to UNC Greensboro. Yeah, and then you got Jamie, and then Dave's probably gonna get something this year as well too. Q was the number 1 7th grade in the country when Casa had him. He played at Gonzaga, and he's going to a school in New York. I think he's a very bright 4.5 GPA student type of deal, but he's going playing basketball in New York somewhere. So these all guys started on his little small AAU team that Costa So started. And I mean, they were beating some of the shoe brand companies at the younger age. And, then as they got 8th grade, they all started going and doing different things that fit them best. Again, like I said, whatever's best for the kids and the families, good luck to them,
Right.
Now, I don't want to jinx things because school hasn't started yet, but like the top juniors in the area, I know Washington and Liberty has some good juniors, and obviously Hayfield, Coach Desmond's got some top, well, he's a freshman. and
right.
I mean, everyone.
He's a sophomore now. You can ask Los about him because Los hates on him all the time. So
exactly. Well, then we got like Coach Rivers.
Stop it.
Top players. I mean, generally, kids. There's been no major defections so far this summer. Isn't that right? To private.
Not man. So a lot of the top kids, on the exception of Sherm's kid, because Sherm kids definitely should have an offer. But a lot of the top kids that were really good this past season, like a lot of them got offers that were public school kids. A lot of them. Whether it was D1 or D2, like a lot of them got some offers.
Yeah.
And they also let us play in those live events.
Right.
That might have helped. Like I said, I feel like me and Los might as well just share transportation since we were at all this stuff.
I would have loved to have been on that Georgetown bus you was on.
But we were able to do those events that we weren't allowed to do before.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. So it was like all I kept hearing in my head was Tony saying, "Show me the rule."
Exactly.
Every time I was thinking about making a decision for something, that just played in my head. And every now and then I got called and be like, "Am I tripping?" I'm like, "All right, I'm good." I'm like, "Okay."
Yep.
Show me the rule. I'm like, "All right."
Yeah.
Well, how about recruiting in terms of college? With COVID, existing college players got an extra year and it kind of created a logjam of folks that were in high school. So things are really tight the last couple of years. Have things loosened up? Are players getting offers? I know, for example, my good friend Jason Coleman's son Gibraltar got offered from American. I mean, are top players getting offers now, or and if not offers for scholarships, Division III opportunities to at least play basketball?
By the way,
I mean-
shout out another Northern Region player there. Gibraltar Coleman spent 2 years at West Springfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about
Yeah.
right.
I would say, like, I know the kid from you guys, I don't remember how to pronounce his name, kid from Langley that's going to Randolph Macon. Who I mean,
Amir,
Erica?
yeah.
yeah. So I mean, Randolph Macon was the #1 team in the nation. You know, they won the national championship, and
Oh, that's
he's,
right,
you know,
yeah.
and he's going there. So I think I mean, Division III schools seem to be at the events that like they have typically been at. I have been in contact. It seems like just as many. I don't know if that has dropped. I do know some of these higher level Division I, II coaches they're looking at guys that are 20 years old and have 3 and 4 years to play that are coming out of so-and-so's portal or JUCO or got a COVID year at prep school.
Or
and
out
now
of high school because they reclassed twice, once in middle school and once in high school. I don't want to talk about that.
or then you're name dropping people we've just talked about by giving those descriptions. Yeah. So like you're getting the 19, the grown men. And you know, so I think I could certainly now see that's a challenge, and talking to some of my friends that are coaching at the higher level, that's a challenge. They're looking for best player available, and sometimes that kid is 20 with 4 years ago, you know, as opposed to our 17-year-old that just came out of high school.
Yeah.
Nah, that's a fact.
I have four kids on my team this year. Got a lot of interest from D3 schools.
Oh, great.
So you know, the D3 guys are still there. There are a lot of events. I'm in contact with a lot of them, you know, whether it's Catholic, Virginia Wesleyan, Christopher Newport. Those schools were at a lot of our events and are heavy on 4 of the kids that was on my AAU team this year. And they're looking to have a breakout senior year. And that's a little bit different because those kids, you know, are at that level. They can play Division II, but once they're understanding that, like you talk about Randolph Macon, #1 team in the country, kid from Langley is really good. And he's going there. So I'm an advocate for D3 ball, right? Because I had a hell of a player, and he went to D3 and it was some good basketball. And he is the second all-time leading scorer in the Virginia Wesleyan history right now, and plays some good basketball. D3 has good basketball. So when these kids start talking about they are D1, I can always say, you remember Corey Moore that played for me? Oh yeah, I know Corey. You're not even close to him.
Yeah.
Right.
And he played D3.
He got a national title too, didn't he?
They lost it his sophomore year, but he was close. I think it was the final game. They lost in the final game. But you know, it's just some good basketball. And once you get the parents understanding about D3 and that, and they take the visits, and if these kids have the grades and things like that, it's a great opportunity. You go take a visit down, and I'm not advocating for anybody. Christopher Newport campus is unbelievable. You know, those kids walk down there and see that. Then you take a Dave Macedo at Virginia Wesleyan, who to me is one of my guys. He is great, and his job is to win games, but he helps these kids get their degree. So you got to look at all kinds of factors. And like what I keep trying to say, man, everything ain't for everybody's path is different. So you got to be able to find your path. And you know, with the connections at the lower levels of the D3s and JUCOs and things that we have, you know, we do use them. And you know, I got some kids, like I said, 4 kids on my team that we'll be playing at the next level, probably at a Division III level for sure next year.
Hey, Tony, let me ask you, when you, like, especially in this July event, was there a lot of college coaches at y'all games?
Yeah, there was a lot. But I mean, when you talk about, you have to be placed in the big boy bracket, as we say, the big boy bracket. You get up in the big boy bracket, that's something different. We was just hoping to get on those courts close to. And then as you start, you have to win. Like, as simple as that. You got to win some games for coaches to stick around. Other than that, then you start getting your normal coaches that we know to say, hey, we're on court 7, come check us out or whatever.
Come stop by. Yeah.
Yeah. When you're on, you know, the court 1 or whatever, everybody's already right there. And you're hoping also to play against a team with somebody that has somebody. And you tell your guys, okay, let's go have a good game against this guy. And these things will fall in place for you. But other than that, when you go into those events, we're making calls and saying, hey, we're going to be here. We're going to be there. You know, shout out to Marymount. Chris was at a lot of our games this year.
Yeah, I saw Chris.
Yeah, he had a lot of stuff going on. So these Division III coaches, man, they work their asses off, you know, going out to see. And they do recruit heavily in Northern Virginia. So
not fast,
you got to get a chance as coaches. We got to get to know those coaches and make sure that, you know, they're on board with us and all of that good stuff. So we're good with that.
And the argument for Division III is stronger than ever now, because the old days, if you went to Division III and you wanted to transfer, you may have to wait, sit out a year. It might be hard. Now you can go to Division III if you outgrow it and say you're great. You can put your name in the portal and you can go to Division I your sophomore or junior year, right? There's nothing
Yeah.
really stopping you from doing that.
It's even getting harder to even go to Division III these days, man, because it's a ripple effect. The D1s is going down to the D2s. The D2s are now going down to the D3s. So it's a ripple effect. You really have to be good in order to get to that next level. Like really.
Yeah, you
There's
do.
a lot of good players playing D3, and people always think it's hilarious when, and it's typically younger kids and their parents, right? Oh, D3, and they kind of snub their nose at it. D3 kids can hoop. Give me a first team all conference anywhere D3, and let me bring him to your gym, and he'll bust your kid's ass.
Man,
So
Yeah.
Drake Marshall's been coming to our open gyms. He graduated 2018, and Drake was first team all conference as a junior and was second team this past year. And he's going to take a grad year because of the COVID stuff. He's unguardable in there, unguardable. and they know it too. And I say, and you know, you make a point to point out like this kid's a D3 guy.
D3 player. Yeah, right.
Right. And you cannot, there's nothing you can do with him. So.
Well, guys, in the summer leagues this year, and also by watching the kids in AAU, you probably had some indication which high school teams are going to be strong. Are there any surprises for next year? I know it's early. Did you see any teams out there that, for example, I saw Robinson had a pretty good record in the summer league. I know it's just summer, but we've been down for a while. But are there any surprises on the horizon from the teams that you've seen this summer?
South County's good.
Yeah, South County's good.
I thought Langley showed up real well in the Fairfax League. What's the guy? Dave is the new coach, I believe, of one of Jay Geyer's guys from Rockridge.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought Langley was sneaky good in the summer league.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anybody? I know Tony. I know Wakefield's down. I know you guys.
No.
You're all young. You got no chance.
Oh, how did WNL look? That's what I want to know.
WNL is going to be good, but they have like 16, 17 players, and Bobby's playing everybody. So that's why I don't put the onus on summer league. Everybody's trying to play guys, and that you guys know how it is. You're trying to please the parents to let these kids play. You know, so I get it. So if you sit back and go, oh, they were good. I mean, it's summer. I mean, think about it. Somebody's like, oh my God, they beat Hayfield. That wasn't Hayfield's team. Did you see Greg Jones on the court? Did you see David? No. So come on, man. So when you start talking,
I got a lot of those texts.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? So if you've been around a long time, you know you're playing to get these young guys that haven't played, trying to get those guys getting some playing time and see how it does, especially an evaluation period for me to see if you're going to be ready to play at the next level. I mean, next year for us or whatever it may be. So, but I did hear about Langley and they're in my conference. So Mike, I heard about Langley. I didn't get a chance to see them all this summer, but I heard they were sneaky good. And for some reason, Madison always looked like they're in full, they're running their offense. Kevin does a great job with those kids knowing their offensive system in the spring, summer, fall, winter. They run their stuff all year long. So Madison. Yeah,
they ran 8 passes on a half court set.
Arizona does a hell of a job with those guys.
Yeah, come on.
I always say that. I always say it.
Yeah,
he's going to be good again. You know, with Franklin's kids really growing up, the commits he can play, and he got a 6'8" transfer from PVI coming. So rollers, that 131's coming back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Coach Sherman, what's going on down in Prince William County? Is it going to be you and Battlefield again next year?
I mean, I think so. You know, Los is out here hyping people up down this way, trying to make.
he got mad at me.
Yeah. You know, I'm finding new people not to like for whatever reason. But you know, Battlefield will be good again. You know, they got some good kids returning. Obviously, we talked about Anthony Mills over Potomac. He's got some good guys return for him, and you know, Osborne will be improved. Clearly, got Tay Barber, who's a D1 kid, and then they got a couple kids that are coming into school there to come play that weren't there last year. So, you know, but I say it every year, and people probably think I'm a jerk to say it. I said I'm gonna say it's us until it ain't. So
that's right.
Coach
Craig,
don't
Freedom got 3 guys returning. That's pretty good.
I don't know who the coach is. Now, those 3 guys were on the team last year. Not like, listen, guards wise, it's going to be pretty hard for you to find a better backcourt or 3 better guards than what Freedom had last year and is going to have this year. It's just what they're put out on the floor night in and night out. So that's what's going to come
Mike Harris is the coach there.
Who's that?
Whoa, slow
What,
down.
Mike Harris from Lee?
Yes.
From Lee High School.
Like
He's
like
back?
ball head, right?
Yes. Listen,
Yeah.
Mike is a vet. He's coached some great players in his day.
So that means that they'll be pretty good.
He had some. Listen, Mike knows how to win.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to get
That's
out
Coach
there.
Val, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So he'll be there. And I don't know anything about their program, but I know Mike Harris, love
And
him.
they're gonna put some points. They're gonna put some points on the board
And
too.
listen,
I mean, his biggest obstacle is gonna, changing kind of the culture or the attitude of the kids. Talent is never going to be the problem.
well,
I
he's
thought you were gonna say the Cardinal officials. I thought that you were gonna say.
No. But so it's
The Prince. Who do you guys use down there? Who do you guys
Bull,
use?
Bull Run. I'm not going to give anybody any glowing terms right now. So, they do the best they can is what I will say.
listen, if you guys all run camp, y'all try to be refs at your camp. It's the hard job, man. Get off these referees, man.
Well, Tony,
Listen,
you should have been
I
nice.
get
You
yelled
should have
at
been
by
nice for the
8-year-olds.
weekend.
Don't do
I get
that.
yelled at by 8-year-olds. Make the call. I'm like, this is my damn camp.
Hey, listen, I
boy.
had to give one of the kids on our team a check because he was coaching and ran on the floor after a call. I'm like, if you don't get out of here. I said, is this what I look like?
Yeah.
Coach Craig, Coach House, you guys have been quiet. What teams have impressed you guys this summer, if anybody?
I was impressed with my team when we were all there. I mean, no, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, when we were all there, I was impressed
Shots
with my
fired,
guys.
guys.
So,
Wow.
yeah, I was. I'm not gonna front. And my kids put a lot of time in, and I was really proud of them and some of the stuff that they did in my leadership. And so I think all of us really you could tell the veteran coaches who are at the games that we want to win the summer league, but we don't care if you lost the 4th summer league game of the season. What you want to know is that your players improve in certain aspects. And, we're likely measuring those things. And if they did improve in each one of those, we're probably going to win. But I've seen some teams that had I think somebody had 14 guys on the summer league bench and is trying to throw guys in there. But I thought that I saw South County play a bunch. I don't know if they were always just like they played before us or right after us or whatever. I saw them play a bunch. I mean, I saw Tony's team. I thought Wakefield, I thought you guys was pretty good. But again, we had some guys that were playing summer for me that I don't think were going to make the team. They may not make the team but they played some minutes. And I think other teams and schools the same way. There were guys that were playing a lot of minutes and we played South Lakes. I thought it was a really good game. It was I thought they were really tough. I thought Mike, your team was tough and played tough defense and so I think what I thought before I watched the underclassmen all-star game, and I thought that the underclassmen were better. I thought that game was better than the senior game. The talent level I thought was a little bit better, which
The defense was better. The defense was better, that's for sure.
Yeah, but just let me know that there's good players all around.
Yeah.
All around. Everybody's got about 2 or 3 really, really good ones. So I don't know if there's anybody that I would say is going to win a state title just off of summer league, but I definitely saw some improvement with some guys.
The class of 2024 in the entire DMV area is really good.
It's really, really good.
Oh,
That 2024 class.
Yeah. I got
Those are the sophomores now. What is that? What is the juniors now? Juniors now.
Rising juniors, yeah.
Yeah, I got a couple of them, but the kids we were talking about from Freedom, they're in 2024. Tay Barber, 2024. It just in Prince William County alone, that's 2 or 3, maybe 4 kids that'll be Division I caliber kids in that class, and that's saying a lot because I can't remember the last one we had.
What year is the Harris kid from Potomac? What year is he?
He's
He's left-handed, right?
2023.
Oh, he's 2023.
Oh, he's got another year? I thought he graduated last year.
No, he'll be there.
Coach Craig,
Potomac's gonna be good.
Coach Craig is quiet down there. Are you sandbagging us?
What about who? About us?
Yeah.
About Woodson?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
I will say this.
After they're pretty good.
I like my team.
Mhm.
You guys better get us this year because after this year, we're going to be pretty good.
Oh, good.
Because my junior and sophomore classes, rising junior and sophomore classes, yeah. See, I had the 6'6" sophomore started for me last year. A lot of people don't realize his twin brother missed the whole year with an ACL. I got 2 6'6" rising juniors that can both shoot threes and play big and do some stuff. They're just young.
There you
Yeah.
go. There you go. Let's talk that. Talk
Yeah.
that.
Well, I don't, everybody says I sandbag all the time.
time.
No, I think we're going to be a solid team. I don't know, if we're going to be at the level with some of these other teams are. I mean, I saw some good. Carlos is really good. I saw them up at DeMatha. I saw Sherman up at DeMatha. They're good. I think Marshall's going to be good. Everybody always seems to forget about them. They
will.
The white kid, the 6'4" white kid,
Matthew Leonard.
Leonard is one of the best players in the area that nobody talks about. He's really, really good player.
Good soccer player, too.
I tell you who's also, I think, going to be sneaky good because I think they have one of the best players in the area and nobody will ever talk. That Andrew Neld's kid at Annandale can play.
He is.
I saw him torch. I don't even remember who it was in summer league, but he had like 46 or 38 or something in a game, and he just scores it easy.
He's deceptive because he looks like he's asleep.
Yeah, he's really good. And when you have a guy that can go get you 30 on a given night, you're always a threat. South County is absolutely loaded 1 through 40. I mean, they could their tryouts must be unbelievable because their JVs were undefeated last year. Their varsity won 20 games and their freshmen went like 14-2. And they had like 5 freshmen playing JV. I don't know where those kids are going to go in the varsity because he only had 3 seniors on his varsity. I mean, they're just really deep and really good. Los has probably the best player in the area. I think the Greg Jones kid's outstanding player. I just think that Fairfax is good. I mean, Margod's, he's really good. He's really, really good player.
But they lost some players.
It doesn't matter because he's going to have the ball in his hands 90% of the game. And they got the best player on the floor just about every night. And he's going to have the ball in his hands 90% of the time.
Yeah.
And he's been starting since he was a freshman.
Is that right? Wow.
He's really good player. They're good. Dave's got a really good point guard and a lot of parts that big. They're athletic. There's a lot of good teams. Desmond, I know, has players. I didn't see them much this summer, but everybody's told me they're really good. WNL's really good. I think the area, the teams this year, there were a lot of teams with a lot of juniors last year that played big key roles. And I think there's a lot of good teams. I don't know if, I know Los has got the target on his back again and everybody's, crowning them, but I don't know if they're going to go 32-0 again, but they're pretty good. I watched them up at DeMatha. They're pretty good.
And you got that kid from Florida now, right, Los?
Yeah. He's a role player though, but yes. I got 2 kids.
Yeah, he got a transfer in from Potomac School too. He's a really nice point guard. He's got 3 Division I offers as a rising junior. Who's a really good player. I've seen him play. He's good. There's a lot of good teams. But no, I'm not sandbagging. I think we can be good, but I just don't know. We're not probably at the level of some of these other teams. But I think there's a lot of good teams. I think I'll be interested to see if South County's depth can do some stuff because he's got a lot of experienced depth players and they're really deep, all the way down through their program. It'll be interesting to see how that pushes the top guys up a little bit.
Soccer gonna be good. Didn't they win the thing again? The Fairfax League? Did they win that?
They beat us.
Oh, they beat y'all. Wow.
Coach Desmond. Yeah. I was gonna say Flint Hill said, Jason Coleman said you guys just kicked their butts. Flint Hill, he says you guys were awesome. In summer league. Yeah. You guys beat Flint Hill pretty easily.
We got a couple guys, right?
Yeah, we got no sandbagger, Coach Craig. Okay, go ahead, Mike.
So again, I think we're young.
There's a big sandbagger.
I think we're young, and I think that this is no bullshit. We're the worst defensive team I've had. Okay, and we're gonna have chemistry issues. And I don't think you graduate 5 guys and bring in young kids and a couple transfers and put them together and look good early. And our schedules, we open with SoCo. We see Dave a week later. We see Randy the first week. So these young dudes and this chemistry thing is going to, be forced to work itself out pretty quickly. But I want to say the Flint Hill game, I don't think they had everybody. And I think the kid that Los hates the most, Jordan Scott, had a great night. And I think Aiden Billings actually was healthy and played. So that made a big difference.
That's great. Yeah. Well, guys, why don't we
stop saying I hate that kid? You're gonna have his mom all over my back, yo.
It's too late, man.
You got those stilettos.
She's already on Twitter. I'm sure about it. I'm sure of it.
Lord. I mess with him.
Yeah. Well, guys, why don't we end with go around and talk about your plan for the season, your fall league plan, your holiday tournament, and what kind of schedule you have. I know Coach Desmond had mentioned he opens up with South County. So Coach Desmond, why don't you go first?
So in the fall, we have we're going to play in 2 different varsity leagues. One pretty local to us over at Madison, and then we are lucky enough to get the invite to Tony's prestigious fall league again this year. So we'll send a team out there to Wakefield. I'm not a big fan of Wakefield's fall league because Buck bothers me, but we will do our best to go out there and play in that historical fall league. And then, our schedule's tough. We had some changes on the schedule. We had to find 4 new teams, but, it's still, we open with SoCo. We play Battlefield the first week of the season. We play Westpo. I think we go to Virginia Academy. We go, Bentley comes to us. Wakefield comes to us. Dobson and WNL come to us. We go to Independence. We go to Woodgrove, and we're going to Jersey for our Christmas tournament. And, then we come back for district play. And I think our district's interesting because, we're kind of rebuilding. A lot of other people are. And I already mentioned, Madison's talented. I think Dave Brooks and Oakton are going to be sneaky good. Got a lot of young athletes. They're going to play fast, and he's got a good big guy inside. Chantilly has a good big guy coming back, and then a good little lefty guard who could scoot. And Kevin Harris at Westfield, that's kind of a game changer because Kevin doesn't know anything but playing in the last game of the season and winning it. And then Centerville will work itself out. I know whoever goes to Centerville, they had, I want to say 7 or 8 underclassmen on varsity and JV, and their summer league was full of young kids. So it's going to be a grind. It's going to be a tough season, but that's kind of what you want when you're trying to get some young dudes ready for the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Coach. Coach Sherman, why don't you go next? Tell us about your fall and your fall league plans, also your Christmas tournament plans, and maybe your schedule.
Fall league will be up at Wakefield as well with my man Tony out there. So it's always good for us because we don't necessarily get to see all those teams all the time, and I'm be able to play up there and play against those different Fairfax and Arlington teams. So it's good for us. Season-wise, scheduling, I'm not sure if it's opening or not. I know it's pretty close to it. We're going to be playing Hayfield. LC Bird is going to come to us. Hampton is going to come to us. Western Branch is going to come to us. And then we've got a couple other games, might be a couple privates possibly. Still trying to figure those out. And then we're going to go play in the Governor's Challenge for the Christmas tournament. So that's always really good. That leaves me open with another game or so because now we got so many teams in our district playing 14 district games.
Wow. Let's see if we can repeat that undefeated season again, Coach. So,
hey, listen, don't jinx it yet.
Exactly. Well, good luck as always. Coach Carlos, why don't you go next? And this year, do you have football players this year that will miss your fall like you had Braylon last year?
No. I mean, nobody. No. I'll just keep it like that. We don't. As far as fall, we'll be playing some games up at Wakefield. Then doing a couple of traveling, going to one place in New York for an event, and then going to Virginia Beach for an event, and I think to Richmond 1 or 2 weeks in Richmond. So got those going on, and then for the season, just looking forward to playing versus Sherman and on December 1st. That's our first game. Wow. And then we got SoCo second. No, we got Woodside second, 757, who got 5 Division I kids all of a sudden on their team. So we're gonna go down there, play them, and then we're trying to get the John Marshall game situated. They want us to come to them. I'm trying to get them to come to us, so we're going through that issue. And then Governor's Challenge for the Christmas tournament, and then a couple other games still trying to ink out, a lot of these. I've been trying to get to these WCAC schools, and it ain't been working out well.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder why.
It is not because of me.
Exactly.
You mentioned football. I'll say this: my 2 returning leading scorers decided as seniors that they were just going to play football this year. So that's awesome.
Is that Des?
No, Coleman and Randall. So
I
they're
thought
playing.
with Coleman's personal training business, he doesn't have time to play football, right?
Looks like in football, so good luck to them. Hopefully, they don't give them the ball too much.
Exactly. Well, you only go to high school once. Coach Bentley, why don't you go next? Let us know about. I know everyone's coming to you for the fall, but what about your plans for the fall and also Christmas tournament, and then also your season, your schedule?
Yeah, we start off with our fall league, which has been great. This is our 12th year doing it. We're up to 30 teams now, which is great. And, like having like Sherman's been coming 7 years, I think. And it's been really good because these guys are always good. And to have different teams like that. And now we've got some new teams that, Light Ridge and trying to look at some other names that are becoming it's really good to have it. And I always make sure that no one plays anyone in their conference, which is great. For Sherman's great. He can play all 7-8 games. He plays anybody. No one pretty much is in his conference. So we make sure that happens. But it's a good league. It's a good test. You get 8 good games right before your season starts. So to me, it's like 8 good tryouts for these kids. So that's always been really good. And then when the season starts, I mean, we're going to open up this year with Colonial Forge, which is a great game because of Dietrich, he played for me. He coached with me, and he sat on our bench again last year. And now he's got his first gig again. So he's coming to Wakefield in the first game. I think it's November 29th. And it's also going to be a great night because that's going to be Corey Moore Jersey night. We're going to honor Corey Moore.
It's awesome.
Who works out great because Corey Moore is Dietrich Gilreath's brother. So we're going to have a whole family affair, in which they're all my cousins. So it's going to be a whole family affair for November 29th. So get your Corey Moore jersey on sale now. So we'll Pro Look will take care of that for you guys. So anyway, then we'll get going with the season, and we've got my Christmas tournament is actually pretty good. Well, first go back to the season. We got Desmond, who tricked me into playing him. He's been every year trying to get me to play him. So we South Lakes and Wakefield have been scrimmaging each other since Veldrin and Bird were coaching.
Oh, cool.
So no matter who came in as South Lakes coach, we always kept that. So Des has now forced us to play a game. So I guess I'm going to have to find somebody to scrimmage, and I'm going to make him call Veldrin and Bird to say that he broke the tradition of the Bird Veldrin Classic. So we'll be looking for somebody to scrimmage this year so we can play Des this year out there. We'll do a real good test because Des got some really good players. I love and respect his guys, man. So that'll be good. And there's a couple other non-conference games that we have. We have Alexandria City, who I think is going to be really good with the addition of Cullen Robinson, who was at West Springfield last year, who's going to AC to play with his brother. I had him on my AAU team this year. This kid is a sleeper. I'm just letting you guys know. Y'all probably already know, but he was injured. But Cullen Robinson is the real deal. He can score with ease. So be on the lookout for that name. And then we also play Annandale, who is, they picked up a couple transfers and things like that. They're going to be really good this year. And then that's it. Then my Christmas tournament, we host the George Long Christmas tournament. We've been doing that for 20 years. I'm excited about that. This year we have Annandale, who won it last year, is coming back. WNL, South County, West Springfield. We have a team, St. Francis from Georgia, from Atlanta, is coming in. Daryl Armstrong, who I grew up with, he went to Yorktown High School. He was a big-time player, and he went to High Point and played in the day. He's the head coach down there. He wanted to come home. So he's coming. And then also Green Run from the 757 is coming up this year in Forest Park. So got another good Christmas tournament. Round out is going to be tough. And then the rest of the season will be, our conference play, which is really good. You already said Langley and Marshall and WNL. So not to discredit McLean, who Mike always does a great job with McLean. You better come well ready when you play against McLean. And so and the rest of the guys in our conference as well, too. I'm excited about going back playing as well, too.
Yeah. And Coach, also, thanks for that. And shout out to your barber. That's a great haircut you got there.
I got to tell him, DMV barber, I got to tell him. He'll be happy to hear that.
Okay. Yeah. Coach Austin, what do you got planned for coming off another great season for this fall, and also for the winter Christmas tournament, and also your strength of schedule?
Yeah, appreciate it. Well, I'm not going to announce my cuts in the summer like a couple of these guys have already said who is on and not on team based on other sports. I did want to shout out Daryl Mackey that played for us, that started at Virginia State this past year at the end of the year, and he, D2 guy and a local guy that was 4 years and like one of the top scorers in the area, and he's Division II. And a lot of people, we're talking about guys that are really, really good and then go, so.
His dad was great. His dad was a great coach. Did a good job. So.
So we're in fall league. We're playing in Tony's league, one of the other teams that is going to be in there. We're going to do the South County team camp, which I think is October. Our schedule is tough. We opened with Potomac. We're going to Potomac this year, and we haven't played Potomac. Me and Keith Honoré for years were trying to talk about getting a Potomac schools with a Potomac, like almost like tip-off tournament, with the different schools. So we're finally getting a chance to get down there and play them. And I know Anthony, so we played against each other when he was at Colonial Forge a few years ago. We're going for holiday. We're going back down to Charlottesville, playing the Daily Progress Tournament. We were at team camp with Western Albemarle, and they're always really, really tough. And Albemarle and schools like that down there. I think Stab, one of those private schools, St. Anne's, I think Belfield, something like that. It's always down there, really good. And then, of course, the Patriot Conference is, in itself, it's just tough. We got the teams that went undefeated or went really, really high in the conference last year, and top 4 or 5 teams. I mean, everybody's going to be really good this year. So I'm excited about our strength of schedule. I think we're going to be tough. I think that the kids follow what we're doing so far. I mean, I think we're going to be right there come February. Able to compete with anybody.
From what I heard, Jason Williford, one of the assistant coaches on UVA, his son's at Stab, and he's supposed to be quite a good player. So that'll be a fun tournament. How about you, Coach Craig? What do you got planned for the fall? And also, are you guys going to be traveling? Well, I think last year you hosted a holiday tournament because I sat with Red Jenkins.
No, we went to Tony Bentley's place for a holiday tournament last year.
Okay.
The illustrious George Long tournament.
Yeah.
Tip off. You had a tip off.
We have a tip off.
Yeah.
Well, before I go over our schedule, since we're all giving shout outs, I'm going to give a shout out. 3 former Woodson players who all took new college assistant jobs this year. Class of 2003, Brian Eskleton moved from the associate head coach at Harvard to an assistant at Georgia Tech.
Awesome.
Class of 2015, Giancarlo Pacheco went from Central Baptist in the NAIA, was an assistant, just took the job at Shepherd College as a full-time assistant. And Jason Agner, who played for us and won a state title in 2017, just finished up his playing career at Christopher Newport, took the graduate assistant job at GW downtown with Chris Caputo. So some Woodson alums doing some good things on the next level. I'm hopefully when I retire in a couple of years, I'll have a job where I can land, maybe run their camps and like get paid in pizza money or something like that. That's what I'm hoping for on my post coaching career, which could be coming any day now, according to Mike Desmond. So our tournament, this fall we're going to be over at Wakefield with everybody else. Tony runs a great fall league, a lot of good competition. I'm actually looking for a second team because I got so many kids that want to play. We might have to do something where we split our team, and each team group can, we split them into 2 groups and they all play 4 games and stuff like that.
But you don't cut anyone who wants to play.
I don't cut in the fall. I know some schools do. We just have never done that. We got about 20 kids that want to play, and that's too much for one team. So we're gonna have to split our team and do 2 different leagues, or maybe split the league at Tony's or something like that. But we'll, for me, the off season is all about just getting guys game experience, especially with a group as young as we have this year, where we don't have a lot of returners that have played a lot of minutes. So we're going to do that. And then, we're scrimmaging Madison and Battlefield. So in the scrimmages, we'll jump in the deep end of the pool with our scrimmages. Our tip-off tournament this year, it's ourselves, Osborne, Rocky's bringing Osborne over. We got National Christian from Maryland is over as well. I'm blanking on the 4th team right now. Escaping my mind. I'll come back to that. And then we're going up to Pennsylvania for a holiday tournament, Allentown, Pennsylvania, William Allen High School. We'll play 2 games up there. Non-district schedule. We got Chantilly, and we got Edison, and we got somebody over at West Springfield. Coach Marshall hasn't announced yet who we're playing their MLK Day event for the 2nd year. We'll play somebody over there. I'm not sure who it's going to be yet. I don't know. I'll probably find out about 4 days before the game's actually played. That's how Coach Marshall usually works. And I'll find out like on Tuesday when we play on Saturday. I'm allowed to say that because he's my former assistant. And then, Patriot District games, we'll see Coach House in a couple times, and
go down and play down on Route 1 some, and Alexandria City and South County. It's difficult. I actually still have one game open that I have left open for, I'm kind of waiting till the fall. I have a couple feelers out, some schools that we've been talking. We're going to probably nail that down here. There's a chance we may also go down and play down at the virginiapreps.com, Matt Hatfield's event. Matt and I have talked a little bit about possibly going down there. It's a lot of that stuff comes down to dates, because that's a Saturday after you play a Friday night type thing. So there's a chance we may do that as well. So it'll be a tough schedule for us. We like to generally play a tough out of district schedule to get ready. So that's our plan for this year.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Coach. Well, guys, this has been great. I love getting together and talking basketball. I think you guys share tons of knowledge with the area basketball fans, the parents, the players. Coach Bentley and everyone said a lot of things about how coaches are underappreciated, but I got a chance to be out there. I saw a lot of games last year. I think you guys, we're lucky to have you guys. You guys are great coaches, charismatic. We have a lot of great coaches in the area. We're lucky. So I hope you guys keep doing what you're doing. I enjoy these panels. So hopefully we can get together early fall, and hope you guys enjoy your August and get one more vacation. Coach Craig's already had 3 or 4 weeks away. Hopefully he gets one more week away. But hope you guys can enjoy the rest of your August, and let's get together and do this in September.
Absolutely. Hey, Julian, there was a quick shout out. Just put on your calendar.
Last shout out. We'll do last shout out.
Put on your calendar. The Houston Bentley are going to get together to do a coaching clinic. All right. So if you're listening, keep these for young, like everything we've been talking about, and it's just much more relevant now with like so many, like we're talking about coaching changes. But I've been asked, and I know a lot of the guys have been asked, like, how are you able to be in the same place for as long as you have? And I think these are questions that are great questions that young coaches have, and don't really have an opportunity because we don't have our northern region thing to like be around other coaches and hear what other coaches have to say. And, some expertise, like some people are really good at certain things. So we're going to be reaching out to everybody, on this panel as well, but like some other coaches as well, to think about, giving you a 30-minute spill about something that you're really good at. And when that comes up, hopefully get that shouted out.
That's a great idea. Whatever I can do to support you, I definitely will as well. Tony, do you have something, Coach Bentley?
Yeah, I just wanted to offer to you, because you're our guy, man, and I've had 30 teams in Fall League. You can come to Fall League any Saturday you want, set up shop, and you can interview any coach you want that is there. Yeah. So we'll have a spot for you. We'll call it Julian's Corner, whatever you want. And as coaches come in and come out, give them 20 minutes. You can meet with every coach you want. We'll open that up for you to have that platform for you and continuing your show and the things that you've been doing for us.
I appreciate that, Coach.
I wanted to offer that to you.
No, thanks. If I put a striped shirt on, you're gonna yell at me if I go out there and try to officiate again?
I don't yell at ref no more. I'm done. I'm done.
No.
I just accept the call and keep it moving.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Coach. I definitely will take you up on that, and
look
forward to talking to more. The folks that I don't get to, and I've gotten to a lot of people, and not just basketball, but football and soccer as well. When I don't get out to a coach, say, what's wrong with me? You don't want to sit down and hear what's on my. So those opportunities would be great for me. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyone else got last shout outs?
Shout out to my boy Dominique Pham, who was over in Vietnam killing it. 25 and 17 a game. If you check out our Twitter, he's killing it over there. So hopefully some bigger things happen for him. He's rolling. And then also shout out to my man Alan Trinkle, who took the GA job at Tennessee Chattanooga. So we got some guys at Wakefield doing some things too. Just want y'all to know that.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach.
Yeah. Well, like I said, that recruiting thing, I can tell you all that really quick.
Yeah.
Woo! Is this another show, or are we gonna stay on this one?
Hey.
The camera's still on. The camera's still on.
I won't make it long. So, bottom line is the coaching change happened, but the new coach at Shenandoah let me know as soon as he got the job that a kid Courtney was somebody that he needed to have. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, then he's like, okay. I told the kid, and he's like, I'm just going to commit there. I was like, cool. Fast forward, like 3 weeks later, I get a call from the coach. Coach, I want to talk to you about something, how I deal with this. I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, well, we had a couple kids commit. We don't know if Courtney's going to make our team. And listen, I said, wait. You don't think he'll make the team, or you think he won't play? He said, I think he's going to have a hard time making the team. I said, this went from a kid that you had to have to now he can't make your 21 roster that you're going to have at a D3 school. So the funny part about it is, and I'm sure you'll see this at some point, I don't care. He says, well, I just don't want to mess this up with us getting future Patriot players. And, usually I'll say what I have to say. And I said, that's an interesting thought process. But ain't no damn way I'm sending any kid out there to play for him ever again. So I said it out loud on the air.
Well, let me tell you, I saw Courtney play one time. I saw you play. I saw him play one time, and that was against Potomac. And he was unreal that night. You told me after the game that was a great game for him. He shot the ball real well that night. I guess he doesn't always look for that 3-pointer.
Well, that's the thing. But defensively in his competitiveness, I just don't see how any coach in his right mind can see
that kid can play. That was a kid. Yeah.
It is what it is. I'm glad he found someone that wanted him and that someone can be able to keep playing at, because it was an unfortunate situation for a coach to call you in June. This is right. We're about to go to DC Live event. I remember that. Yeah. And he called me in June to tell me that. I said, it's June. Kids got to be in school in 2 months.
Yeah. That's bad karma. Ugh.
It's all good.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry to hear that, Coach. But hopefully he'll land on his feet.
I said it. I tried to hold it back, but I couldn't hold it.
Yeah. Courtney's a really good player.
Man, you ain't trying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyone else have any parting shots?
I did.
Yeah. So, all right. Anyway, guys, good. Look, thanks again for your time, and let's do this in September.
Thanks for having me.
Yep.
Yeah. Anytime, guys.
Great. Thanks for having
guys
us.
all this fall.
Thanks for
Appreciate you
having
guys. Enjoy your August.
All right.
Tony, fire Buck.